Hello and welcome to SAR Histories, where on the channel today we will be visiting Evesham Medieval Festival. The festival is an annual event which takes place around the anniversary of the Battle of Evesham. It is a weekend event which offers hundreds of reenactors displaying battles, weapons, music and many different craftsmanship. It is a free event, though there is a car parking fee of £5 for the day. Though if you can donate, you are able to in any of the donation boxes or collection tins that the volunteers carry around with them. The town of Evesham itself is a fascinating place and well worth exploring. As I was unable to get footage of the town due to being low on time, but I intend on visiting again for the purpose of visiting the abbey. There is loads to look at, and walking around the living encampments offers a great insight into the early medieval period. You can speak with as many of the reenactors as you wish, and each offers some amazing detail about what they are portraying. The number of reenactors is impressive, and wandering around the camps makes you feel as though you've travelled back in time. There are many skills on display, from weapons training, cooking, music, torture devices and fletching. Throughout the day there are different displays in the arena, and on the Saturday a parade of knights around the town and abbey is done, but not on the Sunday, so go on the Saturday if you want to see that. This was my first visit to Evesham, and had I had known how much was there, I would have booked into a hotel and spent the whole weekend there. Something I recommend you should consider if looking to visit. What you are currently watching is archers versus infantry, which shows the skills of both sides. Though it was good to watch, I felt that the archers were too tame in their shooting. Had this been a real medieval battle, I feel that the archers would have spread out onto the flanks more and arched their arrows down upon the infantry.
Before the archers can mow them down. The archers obviously only have one job, which is to aim sufficiently well to hit the infantry and knock them down. But it's not as easy as you might think, because those infantry are heavily armoured, they've got shields and they've got helmets. And unless it was a direct, straight-on hit, an arrow would probably deflect off the helmet and possibly off the shield as well, or at least it might go into the shield but not through and into the person behind. However, these soldiers of course have feet, and if you hit a soldier on the unarmoured legs, he's going to go down. So we'll see what happens. I think the infantry are hoping that the archers are going to waste their arrows at long range, but I think they're going to be sadly disappointed. The archers aren't that stupid. Alright, they're going forward. So these infantry are either extremely brave or extremely stupid. Either way, give them a cheer as they go forward. They are, after all, Simon de Montfort's finest. At least they are for the moment. And they stops again, they think, right, we'll keep the formation. It's very, very important for the infantry to keep their formation, even attacking into a lot of archers. And I hope, again, they're hoping that the archers will shoot away and loose their arrows prematurely. But the archers, they're a bit too canny for that. They're waiting till they get much closer, so the infantry are a much easier target. But it's all about speed. If the archers aren't fast enough, some infantry will get through. You can see the infantry there thinking, oh dear, do we really have to go? The archers are going towards them, so the infantry's bluff has been called. If the infantry won't go to them, the archers will go to the infantry. So that's a much closer range now, and let's hope that the archers get the range and are able to pick their targets. And here comes the first arrow, very close. And the infantry are thinking about this, do we go forward or don't we? Well, if they just stand there, it's a bit like being in an Aunt Sally, and you're just going to be a target. So their only choice really is to advance, and off they go. The archers are very carefully taking aim, nearly got them. And the other, they seem to be waiting, really. It's a dangerous game here. If they wait too long, the infantry will get to them. So far, no casualties, they're doing quite well. They are ducking. Oh, is one wounded? Oh no, he's just ducking down. Bit of a ricochet now, he bounced off one of the soldiers' shields. They're still going forward. That was a hit to the shield, that would have got into the shield, almost certainly. Actually, I think the infantry are doing really, really well. Of course, literally hiding behind their shields, which is an incredibly sensible thing to do. Except, of course, if you're doing that, you can't rush it. Suicide close now. I think these infantry wish they had their shield. Because if you're carrying a very long shield, and they're going after the archers. Oh, they're mixing it. And the archers haven't got a chance because they're very lightly armoured. And one of them's legging it. Oh yes, he's off. He's got away. He's living. And two of them are running away. And the other archers, unfortunately, came to a sticky end. Oh, he got him. Oh well, that didn't go according to plan.
The trebuchet, though interesting to look at, was somewhat disappointing to watch. From the 3 shots fired, only 1 was successful, and its range was somewhat short of its capabilities. The reasons for this was that the melons that were being used for projectiles were too small, resulting in frustrating failure. Despite this, it was still interesting watching the engineers scrambling to solve the problem, and it serves as a reminder that the medieval engineers would have faced similar problems. But the main event of the day is the reenactment battle itself, which boasted over 150 participants. The real Battle of Evesham was fought on the 4th of August 1265 and was fought between the rebellious barons led by Simon de Montfort and the royal forces of Henry III under the command of Prince Edward. Simon de Montfort had gained a dominant position in the government after his victory at the Battle of Lewes a year earlier. He also held King Henry III and Prince Edward in his custody. However, the nobles began to see de Montfort as overbearing and having selfish motives. As a result, de Montfort's sphere of influence rapidly decreased, and his allies now declared for the king. Prince Edward was freed from his captivity and immediately began mustering his forces. Prince Edward's army caught de Montfort's by surprise, trapping them in the loop of the River Avon. Edward formed his men on the high ground of Green Hill and waited. As de Montfort approached, he quickly realised that he was trapped and outnumbered, but he was confident that he could win a victory against the odds. After all, he had done it the year before at Lewes. The stage was now set as the two armies faced each other. At stake, the power and the right to rule England. De Montfort addressed his men, firing them up for the looming battle. His men cheered, perhaps believing that he could again overturn the odds. Edward himself addressed his men, pointing out his just right and that God was with them. The battle began with the thunder of hooves as the mounted knights on both sides charged. Neither side was able to gain an advantage, and it ended in a stalemate. Edward then ordered his infantry forward in hope of forcing de Montfort to attack. De Montfort refused the bait and instead ordered another charge of his mounted knights, but like before, no side was able to gain the advantage. Edward now ordered his archers to advance within range of de Montfort's army and begin a heavy volley of arrows to force de Montfort to attack. This constant barrage of arrows began to take its toll, and de Montfort had little other option other than to fight his way out. But Edward knew that all he had to do now was to wait. Facing unfavourable numbers, de Montfort decided to concentrate his forces on the centre of Edward's line, hoping to drive a wedge through. The hand-to-hand fighting was an exhausting and bloody affair, where both sides were evenly matched. Edward ordered that no mercy should be shown, no matter the person's rank. No quarter was given, and the fields at Evesham soon turned red from the blood of those slain. Despite having some initial success, de Montfort was unable to break Edward's line and was forced back. De Montfort now knew that there was no hope of him being taken for ransom, and his only chance would now come through winning a victory. He now regrouped with what remained of his men and ordered them into a boar's tusk, a wedge formation, in hope of puncturing through Edward's line. But Edward now knew what was coming, and he readied his men for the coming attack. In a final gamble, de Montfort ordered his men to advance uphill and to push through Edward's line. Edward now saw his time to strike and ordered his flanks to encircle the boar's tusk. Outnumbered and having to fight on three sides, de Montfort's army crumbled and was put to the sword. In the melee that followed, thousands were cut down, even those who tried to surrender. De Montfort himself made a last stand, but was eventually slain from being stabbed in the back of his neck. Henry III was then released, and nobles paid homage to him upon the battlefield. Though the victory at Evesham effectively restored royal authority, scattered resistance remained until the Dictum of Kenilworth was signed in 1267. I really enjoyed my day at Evesham Medieval Festival and would go again tomorrow if it was on. To any that enjoy history, I highly recommend you plan a visit next year, and I will leave a link to their website in the descriptions below. For me, it was great seeing knights on horseback, and the many stalls offered authentic items, and I'm already looking forward to next year's festival. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Until then, goodbye.